Today is Sunday, the Lord's Day, and we will ponder if Rams quarterback Stetson Bennett has sold his soul to Satan. Is third-year Lakers player Max Christie a bust, and Shohei Ohtani pitches off the mound for the first time in a year? Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. Broadcasting from anywhere at any time, folks. It is August 25th, 2024. By the time you see this clip, I'm going to be on a plane heading north to work, which sucks for me. What doesn't suck, though, is we've added multiple subscribers to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Tampa Bay 9, Dodgers 8, but it took them 10 innings to do it. Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, and Miguel Rojas all hit home runs in the loss. LA still leads the division by 3.5. Houston 17, Rams 15. We already know from experience that Sean McVay is loath to play important players in exhibition games. So the final score is irrelevant. What is relevant, therefore, is who didn't play, because it means they likely made the team, and we'll get to that in a moment. Chargers 26, Dallas 19. All hail Easton Stick. After the Chargers were one of two teams not to score an offensive touchdown in the preseason, the Bolts finally reached the end zone. Golf clap for Easton Stick. Galaxy 2, Atlanta 0. Marco Royce makes his Galaxy debut with a goal and an assist. And Angel City FC San Diego 1 to Elisa Thompson records a brace. Today, by the way, Tampa Bay is at the Dodgers at 1. Gavin Stone is 11-5 with a 3.44 ERA. Shane Baz 1-2 with a 3.48 ERA. LAFC is at Columbus at 4:15. The black and gold in the finals of the League's Cup Cynical Cash Grab Tournament. It's also a rematch of last year's MLS Cup Finals, which was won by the Crew. And the Sparks are at Dallas at 1. Yes, you can yawn. I understand. And let's get to the news. Dresser Wynn took all the snaps under center for the Rams in Houston yesterday morning. And Sean McVay confirmed that Stetson Bennett will be the backup quarterback for the first 2 weeks of the season. While it is true that Bennett won 2 national titles with Georgia as a collegian, it is also very much true that for him to make an NFL roster required this guy to land every conceivable break that the Lord can muster. When you hear about a guy being given generational wealth from cryptocurrency, that guy does not have as much luck as Stetson Bennett has. Every conceivable break. It literally makes you wonder if he got every conceivable break that the Lord can muster, or if he sold his soul to the Prince of Darkness. Your guess is as good as mine. The guy, for example, was arrested before the 2023 draft for alleged public intoxication in Dallas. Red flag. Then, many coaches will tell you that one of the key traits a player should have is availability. In other words, you're there for the team. Bennett made himself unavailable last year by abandoning the team just before the start of the season. Red flag. The Rams then signed Jimmy Garoppolo to serve as the primary backup, so you'd think Bennett wouldn't have a chance in hell. But then Garoppolo gets suspended a couple of days for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing drug policy. Again, another break for Stetson Bennett. And yes, Bennett did guide the Rams to 2 preseason wins, but that was based solely on late touchdown passes against the 4th, 5th, 6th stringers of the other team. If you think that this is an unprecedented role of transcendental good fortune, if you think that that's at an end, that his luck is going to run out, don't be so sure about that either. There's a chance Bennett could actually play in the regular season. Keep in mind, the Rams will likely be down both starting offensive tackles against Detroit. Alaric Jackson by suspension, Rob Havenstein by injury. You get a perfectly timed corner blitz on Matthew Stafford, Smash! And Bennett is now your quarterback. There is nobody on planet Earth luckier than Stetson Bennett. Speaking of Alaric Jackson, we discussed yesterday about how he was suspended for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. And all I can add to the report now is, let the gossip begin. McVay did not say what Jackson was accused of doing. And I took a look at the policy last night. Most infractions involve handcuffs, a squad car, and spending the night with a bunch of sweaty men who have tattoos of area codes on their face. So I'm not going to speculate what Jackson may or may not have done. For the rest of you, though, if you want to embrace your inner mean girl and start spreading rumors, be my guest. The scribes still haven't even called the police to determine if Jackson was in fact arrested. Now, this means a lot for the Rams because they've got a lot of juggling to do on their offensive line for the season opener. Expect backup Warren McClendon to start at one of the two tackle positions. Now, if Havenstein is a go at right tackle, then you're going to put McClendon at left tackle to replace Jackson. If Havenstein is out, you're looking at reserves McClendon and Joe Noteboom getting the call. And all I can say about that is, Godspeed, Matthew Stafford. If your wife doesn't kill you, your offensive tackles might. Meanwhile, with the Chargers, tough decisions await Jim Harbaugh on the Charger roster, particularly at wide receiver, 6th wide receiver, because, of course, the team dropped 2 of their leading receivers last year. Former USC wideout Brendan Rice and Simi Fehoko are struggling to get that last wide receiver spot on the roster. Now, if it were just about being a good receiver, you would think the scale would tip in favor of Rice. He's an established route runner. He can be effective in the short, intermediate, and deep passing game. The problem that he faces is Fehoko is also effective as a special teamer. Also, another roster question may have been answered. There was a question if Stick's job was on the line because the Chargers offense didn't register a touchdown in the first 2 preseason games. He played the entire game in Dallas, which might suggest that he kept his job. The deadline for the Rams and Chargers to meet roster standards, by the way, is Tuesday. Meanwhile, with the Lakers, John Hollinger is a former NBA front office guy, and he writes now for The Athletic, which is not a bad idea for The Athletic. You get a more well-rounded idea of what teams might be thinking of in terms of trades, free agency, etc. Hollinger spent 7 years as the vice president of the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's also an analytics nerd, inventing a few metrics that teams actually use. But without going too deep into that rabbit hole of those goofy analytics numbers, just know that the point of analytics is to find a player that has value that other teams can't see. Okay? And that is distressing because Hollinger looked at the numbers and he thinks that the Lakers have wasted their money by keeping Max Christie with a 4-year, $32 million contract. Hollinger wrote, quote, "The problem was that A, they actually tried him quite a bit, 944 minutes across 67 games. And B, he wasn't any good. 8.4 PER, minus 3.6 BPM. Such that C, he couldn't crack the full strength rotation of what was arguably the worst bench in the league. Thus, it was a bit shocking to see the Lakers commit to a 4-year, $32 million free agent deal to bring him back. Talking to some other people around the league, I don't think I'm alone in this opinion," unquote. Now look, to be honest with you, I don't know and I don't care to know what PER or BPM are. I don't care. Analytics, again, is a bottomless pit of useless information. But in recent years, the Lakers have not been that good at drafting. There's nobody outside the walls of a weed dispensary that would tell you that Bronny James has an NBA future, that he's going to be a surefire success as a pro. Maybe Dalton Connect has a shot, but what then if you go down the roster? What about Jalen Hood-Schifino? What about Mo Wagner? You might counter and say, well, Austin Reeves is pretty good, but he was undrafted. Now, Christie said he's happy about J.J. Redick getting hired because now he'll be part of the rotation. But the dude averaged more than 17 minutes per game before the All-Star break last year, and the 3-and-D guy did not provide a lot of threes. He shot just 35% outside the line. And when the Lakers needed to push just to get into the play-in tournament, Christie's minutes went down dramatically. So it's part of the reason for the Lakers' struggles due to overrated drafts. And is Max Christie then a possible bust? If you're a longtime viewer of the program, you know part of the foundation of this show is to shoot down pathetic trade rumors. LA in that sense is a lot like New York, right? Over there, they've got competition between the tabloids. The most outrageous gossip sells. Here, there's not really major competition to the LA Times, but there are a ton of podcasts and blogs. So I am constantly trying to ground us back into reality. I had been the one guy telling people to ignore the relentless Kyrie Irving rumors, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray, DeMar Rosen, Donovan Mitchell, etc. Some podcaster claims that the Lakers have their, quote, sights set on Luka Doncic. How? Explain to me. How are they going to wind up getting Luka Doncic? Granted, of course, now because one guy says it, all the bloggers picked it up, and it's this super hot rumor in an echo chamber. It's not based in reality. Because from where I'm sitting, first of all, the Mavericks are still owned by Mark Cuban, who is a notorious Laker troll. I hear he wants to sell the team. Fine. But the new owner, if he does sell the team, would have to be stupider than Artie Moreno to let Luka Doncic go to the Lakers. And we forgot to mention the Mavericks reached the NBA Finals last year, which makes that a better option for Doncic right now. But never mind. The blogs keep going with it. The internet's undefeated. My ass. You're going to see a lot of pictures on social media of Luka Doncic with a Lakers jersey photoshopped on it. Just brace yourselves for it. Dave Roberts told the Scribes that right now he is, quote, in playoff mode, to be quite frank, unquote. And that is just delightful because the Dodgers have the best record in the major leagues. I don't know what to say about the mode that Shohei Ohtani is in, though, because one day after reaching the 40-40 plateau, including a walk-off grand slam, he was last seen pitching off a mound for the first time since Tommy John surgery last September. He didn't even wait, didn't even take a day off. He didn't go like, hey, you know what? Give me a day, maybe next time. I'm still savoring last night. You know, the wife put on a purple teddy, gave me a few too many Modelo's. Just we not do the pitching thing? No, he went on the mound and did the pitching thing. Now, to be clear, it wasn't much of a test. He only threw 10 pitches. And to repeat, nobody in the Dodgers organization is even entertaining the idea of Ohtani pitching this year. Ohtani has obviously made his name as a two-way player during his time with the Angels, but the Dodgers would probably tell you they're getting their money's worth just by having him DH this year. Appreciate this season by Shohei Ohtani. Take that into consideration because he is unlikely next year to be a stolen base threat anymore. He's going to need to save his legs in order to pitch. So the unicorn is having a career offensive year. Appreciate it while you can. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, about the Rams quarterback situation and how much are you praying that Matthew Stafford stays alive? Are you of the belief that Max Christie is a bit of a bust? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.